This is Saxon Course 2, Lesson 93, Written Practice Help. We're going to start off with problem number 3 today. Again, we're practicing lots of ratio boxes because we know that's what's coming up on our next test. We're going to start off with the ratio of red marbles to blue marbles in a bag of 600 red and blue marbles was 7 to 5. So it's red to blue, 7 to 5. So 7 to 5. And then it tells us there are 600 red and blue marbles. So that's our actual count of the total number of marbles. Go ahead and pause the video. I want to know how many marbles were blue, and I also want to know what the probability that you will draw a blue marble is. Go ahead and pause the video and give it a try. All right, so you should have gone ahead and made a proportion. You should have told me that 7 plus 5 is 12, and they want to know how many marbles are blue, so that's our x is going to go there. You should have done 5 over 12 equals x over 600, and then you would have told me 12x equals 3,000, and then you should have divided both sides by 12. And that would have given you what x equals, okay? And then, so you're going to solve that and let me know what x equals. Make sure that you will tell me that that is how many blue marbles, okay? That's going to answer A. And then B, if one marble is drawn from the bag, what is the probability the marble will be blue? Well, how many total marbles in our ratio do we have? Good, we have 12 total marbles in our ratio. Oh, so yeah, in our ratio, sorry. And then we have 5 blue marbles. All right, so our final answer for the probability, instead of doing our answer over 600 to find out the probability, we can just use our ratio for the probability, which is 5/12. Okay, we're going to use a ratio box for this one too. It says the price of a t-shirt was reduced by 25%. So notice right there we've got the word reduced, and it tells us by 25%. So your change is 25%, and reduced means it got smaller, so you're going to subtract. And it says if the original price was $24, so the actual cost was $24, what was the sale price? So that's the new price. What's our original percent? Always? Good, 100%, which means our new actually is 100 minus 25, which is 75. Now you don't need the change anymore, and you're going to set up a proportion and solve for A. Go ahead and pause the video. Come back when you're done. All right, let's look at B. The price of a backpack was reduced by 25%. If the sale price was $24. Okay, so they want you to make a new ratio box. So we gotta clear out this ratio box, and we need a new one. So this time it's a backpack that's being sold, and it's reduced by 25%. So same thing, we're reducing it by 25%. Our original was 100%. Our new price will be 75%. And it says if the sales price was $24, the sales price is your new price, okay? So that's $24 in this box. They want to know what the original price is, so that's up here. You don't need change anymore. Go ahead and set up your proportion and solve. All right, good job. You should have an answer for A and B, and you should have 2 ratio boxes for this problem. All right, we're going to multiply this. We have lots of x's and y's, and we have some negatives, and we have some whole numbers. All right, so we're going to start by doing -3 times 2 times -1, because remember that's an implied 1 right there. Okay. And then we've got x squared right here. We have an x there, and we have another x there, We already counted our negative for -1 here, so you don't have to do it again. And then we've got a y here and y squared. So y and y squared. So we're going to do -3 times 2, which is -6, times -1. -6 times -1 is going to be +6. You don't have to have the positive in front of it, but I do recommend those parentheses. Then we have x squared, and we have 2 more x's. So we have 2 x's here, and that's 3 and 4. So we have x to the power of 4. And then we have y right here, and then 2 more y's, so y to the power of 3. So when we write our final number, we're going to write 6, x to the power of 4, y to the power of 3. And we ended up with positive, so we're good. That's our final answer. Make sure that you're showing me all the steps. Show me everything. Don't just write 6x to the power of 4, y to the power of 3. Make sure that you're showing me each step. All right, take a minute. Try solving this problem on your own. I gave you a couple of clues with 1 day equaling 24 hours and 1 hour equaling 60 minutes. All right, so you're starting off with 7 days right here, and we want to change it to minutes. And we know that in 7 days, 1 day equals 24 hours. So we're going to change it to hours. I want 1 day on the bottom, don't I? Yeah, so we can cancel it out. It's 24 hours. And we're going to change those hours to minutes. So we're going to put hours on the bottom. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. All right. So if you didn't get that part, you're going to stop the video, erase what you wrote, and finish from this point. Make sure you rewrite this. All right, so you should have crossed out the days. Cancel those out. And you could have canceled out your hours right here. And now we have 7 times 24 times 60 over 1. So I'm going to do 24 times 7. It's 28. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 2 is 16. That's 168, and I need to multiply that times 60. 6 is in the tens place. So I put a 0. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 4 is 40. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So my final answer is going to be 10,080. And notice I still have minutes here. Minutes. Now, I don't want you to leave it sloppy like I just wrote it. You're going to write it nicely. I would write 7 days equals 10,080 minutes. And I might even write it out, to be honest with you. All right, let's try the next one. This is a diagram. Diagram this statement, then answer the questions that follow. I want you to go ahead and finish this on your own. And when you're done, you're going to press play again so you can make sure that you got it right. Good. All right. So 5/9 of the 45 cars pulled by the locomotive's a train, were not tanker cars. Tankers are, usually they have like oil or something like that inside of them, some kind of liquid. Not like the picture. They didn't have a picture of a tanker car. 5/9 of the 45 total, so total of 45 cars were not tanker cars. And so we have to take that 45 total and split it between our 9 boxes. So 45 divided by 9 is 5. So you should have 5 in each box. And then it asks me how many tanker cars were pulled by the locomotive. So the ones that were tanker are the 4/9. And we've got 4 boxes, 5 in each box. So 4 times 5 equals 20 tankers. So 20 tankers were pulled by the locomotive. Then it said, what percent of the cars pulled by the locomotive were not tanker cars? So for B, you should have told me 5/9 equals a percent. and you should have changed it to a percent. The best way to do that is 5 divided by 9. 9 will go into 55 times, which is 45, which gives me a remainder of 5, and it looks like it's going to continue on. So that you should have told me 55.5 with the repetend over it, percent. All right. They want you to evaluate AB minus A minus B if A equals -3 and B equals -1. Go ahead and pause your video and let's see what you come up with. All right, so hopefully you replaced all your A's with -3, so we have -3, and all your B's with -1. So -3 times -1 minus -3 minus -1. Then I would have changed those subtraction signs to addition, which means you have to do the opposite of the number after it. And addition and the opposite. -3 times -1, good, would have been a +3 plus a +3 plus a +1. So you're going to do 3 plus 3 plus 1. That will give you your final answer. Make sure you show me all the steps and everything that I wrote down so that I know what you were doing. All right, this says find the total price including a 5% tax for a meal that includes a $7.95 dish, a 90-cent beverage, and a $2.35 dessert. All right, so take a minute. I want you to solve this problem, pause the video, and when you come back, we'll make sure you set it up correctly. All right, so I should see on your paper that you did $7.95 plus 90 cents plus $2.35. Make sure that you lined up your decimals. If you did not line up your decimals, you need to stop the video, start all over, and then solve it from there. All right, so you should have done 5 plus 5 is 10. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, plus 3 is 22. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So the meal cost $11.20, but it says including a 5% tax. So if you didn't add your tax, you need to stop the video, add your tax, and then come back and start it again. All right, so to add tax, you should have done $11.20 and figured out what tax was. So you're going to multiply it times 5 hundredths. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6, 5 times 1 is 5. I've got 2 digits after the decimal here, 2 digits after the decimal here, so I need 4 digits after the decimal here. Now, when I read money, I don't read the thousands and 10,000s place, I only read the tenths and the hundredths. So 56 cents is my tax, so I'm going to add 56 cents to my total, which is going to give me $11.76. How'd you do? Did you find that? If you didn't, I hope you saw where your mistake was, and if you did, totally give yourself a pat on the back. I'm proud of you, because I know these tax problems were definitely giving us problems there for a while. Number 13. A corner was cut from a square sheet of paper to form this pentagon. Dimensions are in inches. That's important. What is the perimeter of this pentagon? Now, let's see. It tells us that it was a square sheet of paper. So they cut off this part right here, right? And so if it was square, that means all of our sides had to be this 12 right here, okay? So 4 plus what number is 12? 8, good, and 6 plus 6. So they took off this little triangle right here. So we're going to erase this. Okay. And we should know, since it's square, that this corner and this corner and this corner are all 90-degree angles. And it says, what is the perimeter of the pentagon? Well, now I know all the sides. And remember, perimeter is the distance around the pentagon, so you're going to add up all your sides for A. So add up 5, because it's a pentagon, sides. And that's going to give you your answer. Don't write add up 5 sides. Actually, add up those numbers and make sure you give me the dimensions in inches. B, it says, what is the area of the pentagon? Okay, so remember area for a pentagon. Actually, I want you to write that down. And then, pause your video, write it down, and then come back and you're going to check it. Good. Let's see what you wrote. Hopefully you did 1/2 of base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Okay, so we're going to do base 1 is 4. No, you want to do base 1 is 12? That's fine. We can do base 1 is 12. Okay, so base 1 is 12, and base 2 is 6. And then our height, if we do it that way, our height is this one right here. It's 12. So you should have written A equals 1/2 of base 1, which is 12, plus base 2, which is 6, times 12, which is the height. You're going to go ahead and finish out that problem. Pause your video. Okay, let's see what you got. So let's see, we have 1/2 of 18 times 12. And I'm going to make my life easier. I'm going to just do 1/2 times 18, which is 9 times 12. I can do that in my head. 9 times 12 is 108. And they wanted area, so you're going to write inches squared. Nice job. All right, let's try the next one. What, Miss Stoll, another ratio box? Yes, you should be getting really good at these by now, right? Okay, a retailer buys a toy for $3.60 and marks up the price 120%. Wow, that's a big markup, isn't it? So our change is 120%. What was our original? Excellent, 100%. Now don't let that fool you, 120%. It tells you they marked it up 120%. And do you think retailers do this? Yes, they do. That's why when they have those big sales, they can sell everything off like really cheap on clearance if you can wait. And so, yeah, because they mark them up a lot. Okay, so our new, it said mark up, so we're going to add. So 100 plus 120 is 220. Our new percent is 220. And the original toy, the original cost of the toy was $3.60. And they want to know the new price, the retail price. So we don't need the change anymore. We already used that. And you are going to set up a proportion, and you're going to go ahead and solve the problem. When you're done, come on back and we'll do the next problem. All right, let's multiply. Write the product in scientific notation. They keep trying to trick you on that. I hope they're not going to trick you this time. Go ahead and pause the video and come back when you're done. All right, good. So you should have done 8 times 6, first number, both of those together, times 10 to the power of negative 3 times 10 to the power of 7. So 8 times 6 is 48, and 10 to the negative power of negative 3 times 10 to the power of 7 is going to be 10 to the power of 4. Something's wrong with that problem. You're getting good at this. We can't have two numbers to the left of the decimal, only one in scientific notation. So we end up with 4 and 8/10 times 10 to the power of 5. Put it in parentheses, and that's your final answer. All right, each edge of a cube is 10 centimeters long. So all of the edges, everywhere you look on this, it's 10 centimeters. All the way around, every single edge, 10 centimeters, doesn't matter which one. Okay, what is the volume of the cube? Well, what's the formula for volume of a cube? Good, A, you should do volume equals length times width times height. Well, the length, the width, and the height are all the same number. So go ahead and you're going to multiply those together. All right, when you're done, press play. Good, so you should have ended up with 1,000 and its area, so you're going to do centimeters squared. Now it says, what is the surface area? Well, we know the area of every side is going to be the same. So we have to find the area. So B, we have to find area. Area is just length times width. Well, that means it's 10 times 10. That's for one of them. I just realized that's my problem. That was volume. It should have been cubed. So 10 times 10 is 100 centimeters, and its area, so it's squared. And then it wants surface area. That means every side of the box added up all together. There are how many sides of a cube? Good, 6. So we're going to multiply that times 6, and that's going to give you your final answer for B. Please write it down, pause video, unpause it when you're done, and go to the next problem. All right, area of a circle. Hopefully you remember that's pi r squared. So pi r squared, well, they didn't tell us r, did they? They only told us the diameter. So the radius is half of that. So A equals, and they told us to use 3.14 times r times, r. So 10 times 10. So you're going to solve that problem. Make sure you label it centimeters, and its area, so you're going to label it with, good, squared. So that's A. B, you're going to do your circumference. Circumference is pi times d. Now they did give you d, and they told you it's 3.14 times d, which is 20. And then you're going to go ahead and multiply those together, and it's circumference, which is just the distance around the circle. So it's just going to be plain old centimeters. So this is going to be centimeters squared, and this is going to be just centimeters for the circumference. 3x plus 2 equals 9. All right, well, this is just a two-step equation. So we're going to start by, oh, you know what? You're going to start by pausing the video so you can solve it on your own and then check your work. All right, let's see what you did. I hope that you started by subtracting 2 from both sides, which would have given you 3x equals 7, because 9 minus 2 is 7, and that cancels itself out. Then you're going to isolate the x by dividing both sides by 3. So x equals 7/3, and we always like to turn that into a mixed number, so 3 will go into 7 2 times with the remainder of 1. So 2 1/3 is your final answer. All right, take a minute, do this one on your own, pause the video, come back when you're done. All right, so we have 2/3 w, oh wait, let's just go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides. So that leaves us with 2/3 w, because that cancels itself out, and 14 minus 4 is 10. Now, we don't want to divide by a fraction, so we're going to multiply by its excellent reciprocal. We have to do the same thing to both sides, and that's going to cancel out right there. And then we're going to do, oh, I'm going to cancel here too. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I end up with w equals 5 times 3, which is 15, is my final answer. Again, make sure you're showing me all your work. Don't skip it. All right, try 27 on your own. You're going to turn your video back on when you're done. All right, so we have 2/10 y minus 1 equals 7. Well, the opposite of subtraction is addition, so we're going to add 1 to both sides. That's going to cancel this out. And so we end up with 2/10 y equals 8. Then we're going to divide both sides by 2/10, which is going to give me y. That's going to cancel that out. And I'm going to do over here 8 divided by 2/10. I have to move my decimal over one place, which means this decimal also has to move over one place. So 2 will go into 8 4 times. Gives me a remainder of 0. Bring down my 0. 2 will go into 0 0 times. So my final answer is y equals 40. How'd you do? Hopefully you're learning lots. All right, I'm logging off. I hope you had a great lesson and that you were able to learn a few things, and check your work and have a great day.